This video will answer all of your questions related to Hiyuki's best build options. She is a 5-star Glacio sword user, and she will release in the first half of version 3.3, which will arrive around April 29th. Before starting the video, please subscribe to this new channel for more pre-farm guides like this one, and keep in mind that Hiyuki's kit is still in beta and it is subject to change. Now I will go through her kit highlights very quickly. Hiyuki is a Glacio damage dealer who plays around 2 forms, Present Self and Proclaimed Self. In her normal state, she builds a resource called Dedication through her attacks and skill. When Dedication reaches maximum, she can use a charged attack called Frost Splinter, which then unlocks her transformation. She enters her enhanced form by using her Liberation, which deals damage, applies multiple stacks of Glacio Chafe, and grants her special stacks for her next attacks. In Proclaimed Self, all of her attacks become stronger and are treated as Liberation damage. In this state, she builds a resource called Frostheart through her attacks, which is used to perform powerful special slashes. These special consumes Frostheart to deal high damage, and if she has special stacks from her Liberation, it becomes even stronger, while also generating new stacks for her next abilities. She also builds stacks like Whiteout Bitterfrost and Snowforged Blade, which are used for her strongest attacks and her final burst. Her ultimate has 2 parts. The first part activates her enhanced form and gives her stacks, and the second part is a powerful finishing attack that consumes Snowforged Blade stacks to increase its damage. Her kit also revolves around applying Glacio Chafe, which is converted into Glacio Bite. This effect deals extra damage, and when enough stacks are consumed, it can trigger a freeze effect. Overall, her gameplay loop is simple. She builds Dedication, unlocks her enhanced form, uses special slash attacks to build and spend resources, and then finishes with a strong burst. Now let's talk about her best weapons. Her best weapon option will obviously be her signature weapon called Frostburn. It has a base attack of 587, and its substat gives 24% crit rate. Now let's talk about the weapons effect. It increases attack by 12%. When the wielder applies Glacio Chafe, Glacio damage is amplified by 28%, and Resonance Liberation damage ignores 10% of the target's defense for 20 seconds. If the wielder is the active resonator in the team, Glacio Chafe damage dealt to all targets within a certain range is amplified by 20% for 6 seconds. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 0.1 seconds. For an alternative 5-star option, you can use Emerald of Genesis. Its substat gives 24% crit rate. It increases energy regeneration by 12.8%. When Resonance skill is cast, increases attack by 6%, stacking up to 2 times. This effect lasts for 10 seconds. Feather Edge will be a very good 4-star option because it will give her Resonance Liberation damage and crit rate, but the problem is it is a Battle Pass sword. Its substat will give 20% crit rate. Casting Resonance Liberation increases attack by 7.2% and grants 10.8% Resonance Liberation damage bonus for 15 seconds. For an alternative 4-star option, you can use Fables of Wisdom. Its substat gives 18% attack. Dealing damage to enemies with negative statuses increases the wielder's attack by 4% for 10 seconds. This effect can be triggered 1 time per second, stackable up to 4 times. Now let's move on to her best main stats and substats. For her best main stats, you can use crit rate or crit damage on her 4-cost echo, Glacio damage on 3-cost echoes, and attack on 1-cost echoes. For her substats, you can use crit rate, crit damage, Resonance Liberation, and attack. As for her skill upgrade priority, you should upgrade her Resonance Liberation first, as most of her damage is Resonance Liberation. Then you can focus on upgrading her Forte Circuit, basic attack, and the rest of her skills. Now let's talk about her best echo sets. Her best set will be the new Quite Snowfall set. It increases Glacio damage by 10%. According to its 5-piece set, inflicting Glacio Chafe on enemies increases Glacio damage dealt by 10% for 15 seconds. The Resonator gains the Snowfall effect, which can be triggered once every 25 seconds. While Snowfall is active, dealing Resonance Liberation damage removes Snowfall and increases the Resonator's crit rate by 25% for 30 seconds. Then casting Outro skill removes Snowfall and grants 25% Glacio damage bonus to the incoming Resonator for 30 seconds. When Snowfall is removed, only one of the effects above can be triggered. You can also use the Freezing Frost set as an alternative option. Its 2-piece set increases Glacio damage by 10%. Its 5-piece set increases Glacio damage by by 10% after releasing basic attack or heavy attack. This effect stacks up to 3 times, each stack lasts 15 seconds. Now let's move on to her best teams, starting with Team 1, Hiyuki, Lene, and Chiza. This team is focused on maximizing Hiyuki's burst window through liberation scaling and status-based amplification. Lene's outro gives the next character 15% all damage amplification and 25% resonance liberation damage amplification for 14 seconds. This is extremely important for Hiyuki because a large portion of her highest damage comes from her blade liberation and her foreclaim self state, which both benefit directly from liberation scaling, so Lene is effectively boosting her strongest burst phase. Chiza plays a completely different role, and instead of giving raw damage buffs, her outro increases the maximum stack limit of negative status effects by 3. Next team is Hiyuki, Jeiji, and Chiza. This is the most consistent and straightforward team because Jeiji directly matches Hiyuki's damage type. Jeiji's outro provides 20% Glacio damage amplification and 25% resonance skill damage for 14 seconds. This applies directly to Hiyuki's entire kit because all her damage is Glacio. Chiza again provides the same utility here. Next team is Hiyuki, Chisa, and Morny. This team focuses on universal amplification rather than elemental specialization. Morny's outro provides 25% all damage amplification to the entire team for 30 seconds. This is a very strong universal buff because it applies to every part of Hiyuki's kit, including her Bitter Frost and Blade Liberation. Chisa again enhances this by increasing negative status stack limits. For alternative sustain options, you can use either Shorekeeper or Verena. Both provide a 15% all damage amplification buff through their outro skills, which lasts for 30 seconds and easily covers Hiyuki's full rotation. Not to mention Shorekeeper can also provide strong crit buffs through her ultimate. Well, that's it for our guide video. If you want more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe to this small channel. I will see you guys in the next one.